Hello there. Thank you for visiting iFilm Recap. Today I'm going to explain a movie, Top Gun Maverick. A speedy admonition, there will be significant spoilers ahead. The film starts with jets setting down on an aircraft carrier. We then see Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell at Mojave Desert in California, fixing his plane. He has become a test pilot, but he is still dealing with the tragic events of Top Gun when he lost his best friend Lieutenant Nick Goose Bradshaw. Rear Admiral Chester Hammer Kane cancels Maverick's Dark Star scramjet program in favor of funding drones. Before Kane can formally do as such, Maverick sets another flight intended to drive into high hypersonic speed, achieving the program's objective. The prototype is destroyed, however, when Maverick pushes beyond Mach 10. Hammer tells him that he should be a two-star admiral, but yet he is still a captain. He warns Maverick that the era of crewed fighter aircraft will soon end. His friend and former Top Gun rival Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky, commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, often protects Maverick's from being grounded. Iceman again saves Maverick's career by ordering him to Nas North Island for his next task. Maverick is glad to return to Top Gun. He sees an old photograph of him and Iceman. Maverick then meets with Vice Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson and Rear Admiral Solomon Warlock Bates. They show him the target, which is an unsanctioned uranium enrichment plant built in violation of a multilateral NATO treaty. This can be a direct threat to the Allies in the region, and the Pentagon wants to be taken out before it becomes fully operational. This plant sits in an underground bunker at the end of a GPS-jammed valley, and defended by SAW-3 GO surface-to-air missiles, SAMs. There are also a limited number of fifth-generation fighters, Sukhoi Su-57 and few old F-14s. Maverick tells them since the valley is GPS jam, they can't use F-35s. They need to utilize F-18 Super Hornets, yet, when they fall off the steep climb, they will be exposed to surface-to-air missiles. Nevertheless, they have to dogfight if any of the fifth-generation fighters gets airborne. Warlock tells him that this mission needs to be done within less than 3 weeks. Despite the fact that he needs to fly the mission, Maverick is doled out to prepare in a first-class gathering of ongoing Top Gun graduates collected by Cyclone, who dislikes Maverick's unorthodox methods. They want him to choose 6 of them for this mission. Maverick's best friend Goose's son Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw is also in the team. Maverick refuses to teach them, but Cyclone tells him that he is here on the request of ICE because he thinks Mavericks still have something left to offer to the Navy. This will be his last post if he won't fly for the Top Gun, and he won't ever fly once more. Afterward, Maverick receives a text from ICE. He tells him these kids are not ready for this mission, but ICE tells him to teach them. Maverick then meets his former girlfriend, Penny Benjamin. She owns a bar, and she is still mad at him because the last time they were together, he promised her to take her on a ride in F-18, and then he disappeared, but she is happy that he is back in Top Gun. While they are talking, Maverick puts his cell phone on the bar, which is against the rules, and now he has to buy a round for everyone. Meanwhile, 6 graduates come there, and then Rooster also arrives there. Lieutenant Jake Hangman Senison and Rooster are having an argument about who will be the mission leader, and Maverick is watching them. He gives his credit card to Penny, but it has been declined, and Maverick doesn't have enough money to pay, so he has been thrown out. He gets up and sees Rooster playing piano. He gets a flashback of him and Goose. The following day, every one of the 12 graduates meet Maverick, however Rooster is disturbed seeing him. In the wake of having his presentation, Maverick throws F-18's N at tops in garbage. He tells them that their enemy also knows about this, so they have to push themselves and think out of the box. The training begins. Maverick puts them in teams of 2 F-18s. He tells them he is going to teach them how to dogfight. So there will be no missiles, only guns, and they won't be going above 5,000 feet. One by one, Maverick shoots them, and every time they lose they have to do push-ups. Now it's Maverick and Rooster. During their training, they do some high-G maneuvers and are losing altitude quickly. Maverick pulls up, which gives Rooster a chance to shoot him, however they're so low. Maverick does a cobra and gets behind him and is able to shoot him. Later, when Rooster is doing push-ups, he tells Phoenix that Maverick pulled his application in the Naval Academy, which caused him for years. On the other side, Cyclone is angry at Maverick for his crazy maneuvers which risk both the pilots and their aircraft. Maverick tells him this mission demands something which they have never encountered before, he just wants them to get back alive. Cyclone tells him from now on, each day he will brief him on his instruction plans. Meanwhile, Hangman finds an old photograph of Maverick along with Goose and Ice. Now he knows why Rooster is angry on Maverick. Later, Maverick instructs them about the mission. He explains to them that surface-to-air missiles can hit objects above the canyon, so they have to fly as low as 100 feet and their airspeed will be 660 knots. If they exceed this altitude, they will be dead, and to complete this mission they have only 2.5 minutes. If they delay, then they will have to face 5th-generation fighters which wait at an airbase nearby, and an F-18 in a head-to-head fight with these jets doesn't stand a chance. They start training, and one by one everyone fails, except Rooster. He manages to reach the target, but he is a minute late, which gives enemy jets time to catch him. Hangman criticized Rooster and taunted him about his father's death. Maverick later meets with Iceman, who has throat cancer and primarily communicates by typing on a computer. He tells Ice that Rooster is not ready, so he should send him instead. Ice tells him it's time to let go and let the young blood do the work, just as they were once. The following day, Warlock tells them the plant will be operational sooner than expected, so the mission has been moved up by 1 week. Maverick tells them even though none of them have flown the canyon successfully, but now they have to focus on Phase 2 of the mission. They need to consecutive miracles to complete Phase 2 of the mission. 2 pairs of F-18s will fly together, and they need precise coordination for both the success of this mission and for their survival. At final approach, a pair of F-18s will steep dive, which allows them to maintain the lowest possible altitude and the only possible attack angle. Then they will breach the reactor by dropping a laser-guided bomb on an exposed ventilation hatch. That's miracle number 1, and then the second pair of F-18s will deliver the kill shot and destroy the plant. That's miracle number 2. After this, they have to climb steep climbs and dodge surface-to-air missiles. If one of them misses the target, the mission is a failure. Later, when they were training for Phase 2, a bird hits Phoenix's jet, which results in an engine failure. They managed to eject, and the jet crashed. Maverick talks with Rooster. He tells him for years ago, he rejected his application because his mother made him promise before she died that Rooster would not become a pilot. Rooster, unaware of the promise, resents Maverick for impeding his military career and blames him for his father's death. Warlock arrives there and gives Maverick the news of the death of Ice. Maverick gives Ice his farewells, and after attending the ceremony, Cyclone calls him. He makes Maverick grounded and takes control of this mission. At night, Maverick meets with Penny, and she tells him to not give up. The following day, Cyclone tells everyone that Maverick is no longer their instructor. Now the time to target is 4 minutes, and they will be attacking for higher altitude just as he is instructing them. Suddenly, they see Maverick's jet. He set the time target to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Everybody is watching him making high turns. Maverick managed to fly the canyon and hit the target under 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Later, Cyclone calls him and tells him after the death of Ice, he can court-martial him because he stole the jet, but seeing that this mission is, in fact, achievable, Cyclone makes Maverick the team leader. After so long, Maverick is where he belongs. For the team, he chose Payback, Fanboy, Phoenix, Bob, and for his wingman, he chose Rooster. They prepare for the mission. Within seconds, 4 F-18s get airborne and are reaching towards enemy territory. Tomahawk missiles are also launched to destroy enemy airstrips. Maverick tells everyone to form an attack formation and the countdown begins. They fly around 100 feet to keep themselves as low as possible, but time is running out for them. Just as Tomahawks are about to hit the airstrip, they pick up enemy jets which are on long-range patrolling. Once the Tomahawks hit the airstrip, these jets will come for them, so Maverick tells them to increase their speed. Rooster and Payback are falling behind because of the fear of Rooster. On the other side, Tomahawks have hit the airstrip and the enemy's jets have switched their course, and they are coming after them. Maverick tells Rooster to quit thinking and do what needs to be done. He pushes the throttle and joins them. Meanwhile, Maverick goes for a steep dive in Bob Target's laser-guided missile. They manage to hit the exposed ventilation hatch. Rooster and Payback follows them and also goes for a steep dive, but their laser malfunction. Rooster goes for the blind drop, and he manages to hit the target. The plant is destroyed and everyone at control rooms celebrate. While coming off the mountain, they have exposed themselves to surface-to-air missiles. They drop flares to get away from them. But these missiles surround them. 2 missiles are chasing to Rooster, and he is out of flares. Seeing this, Maverick gets behind him and drops his flares, but 1 missile hit him. Rooster sees Maverick's jet crashing. Hangman asks permission to take off, but Cyclone denies and tells the remaining team to get back. Maverick is still alive and sees an enemy chopper approaching him. It starts shooting at him, and when Maverick is on its target, the chopper gets hit by Rooster. He has come back for Maverick, but within seconds he gets taken out by a surface-to-air missile. Maverick runs towards him and can find him. He is angry at him because he has to be on the carrier. Rooster tells him he did what his instincts told him to do. Now they have to get out of here, so they plan to steal one of the F-14 Tomcats. They manage to get in the hangar and get in the F-14. The airstrip is destroyed, so Maverick opens the wings and pushes the throttle. He manages to get it airborne, by only losing the front landing gear. Once airborne at the control room, they receive Rooster signals and 2 Su-57 approach them. At first, they try to trick them, but things quickly turn bad for them. Now Maverick has to dogfight them. Rooster tells him to stop thinking and just do it. Maverick presses the button and with his gun, he damages one of the Su-57. The other Su-57 locks them and shoots a missile at them, but Maverick brings his jet towards a falling Su-57 and the missile hits it. The Su-57 shoots another missile at them. This time they use flares and save themselves. Maverick manages to get behind him and shoots a missile at him, but Su-57 being highly maneuverable dodges it without any problem. Now Su-57 is chasing them. To get him off his tail, Maverick goes into the canyon. The Su-57 follows him, but he cannot lock them, so he starts firing at them. Maverick opens the wings once again and gets behind him and shoots a last missile at him. The Su-57 uses flares and dodges it. Maverick goes for the gun and starts firing at him, and with the last 33 bullets, he can shoot it down. Rooster can get the radio on, and they see another Su-57 in front of them. It shoots a missile at them. Maverick uses flares and dodges a missile, but now they are out of flares, missiles and bullets. Su-57 gets behind them and starts firing at them. Maverick goes up and tells Rooster to eject, but the ejection seat is not working, and the enemy is right behind them, and just as Su-57 gets a lock on them, it gets hit by a missile. Hangman has come to their rescue, and after dealing with Su-57, he returns to land on the deck, and now everyone prepares for Maverick's landing. While coming for landing, Maverick also loses an engine, but he still manages to land without a landing gear and without a working engine. Everyone on the deck comes running towards them and welcomes them. Rooster and Hangman shake hands, Maverick and Rooster also hug, and he thanks Rooster for saving his life. Afterward, when Maverick and Rooster are fixing the plane, Penny shows up there, and Nonconformist at last took her for the flight which he has guaranteed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more movie recaps.